Isha, my sweetie, wake up. It's time to get up. The voice was low yet piercing, deep, sharp, and far too close to her ear. The words seemed to slither in like cold fingers. Isha's eyes snapped open, her breath hitched instantly, chest rising and falling in panicked, shallow gulps. She stared up at the ceiling, but her gaze was distant, glassy. For a moment, she couldn't remember where she was or if she was even awake. Her throat felt tight, as though invisible hands had been clutching it only seconds ago. She reached for her neck on instinct, her palm trembling. Cold sweat trickled down her temple. It felt too real, too close, too suffocating. Her heart thundered so loud she could barely hear the shrill beeping that erupted next to her, the alarm clock. It rattled faintly on the nightstand as it rang. She forced herself to turn toward it, her hand sluggishly reaching out. Her fingers brushed against the clock before pressing the button, silencing it. The room plunged into an unsettling quiet. She sat there for a few seconds longer, gripping the blanket as if it were a lifeline. Then she exhaled shakily. Just just a dream, she whispered to herself, though she didn't believe it for a second. Dragging herself out of bed, she went through the motions of her morning routine. A hot shower washed over her skin, but the warmth did little to chase away the lingering chill that had wrapped around her since waking. She dressed mechanically, grabbed a single slice of bread for breakfast, and forced herself to chew, though she had no appetite. Just as she was about to leave, her phone buzzed sharply against the table. The caller ID lit up the screen. Uncle. She answered quickly. Hello, uncle, she said, her lips curling up into a smile, faint smile despite herself. Hello, Isha beta. Good morning, my child. His voice was warm, steady, like a small patch of sunlight on a cloudy day. Morning, uncle, she replied softly. Do you remember? He continued, that today you have an appointment with your psychiatrist? Please be on time. Yes, uncle, I'm actually on my way to the hospital, she reassured him, stepping out into the cab she had booked earlier. Don't worry, I'll call you when I come back home. There was a brief pause, and then his tone shifted into one of quiet encouragement. Isha beta, one more thing. Don't lose hope. Be brave, my child. We are with you. Her throat tightened. She pressed her lips towards together for a moment, staring out of the cab window at the bustling streets. Yes, uncle, she finally said, her voice faint but steady. I will not lose hope. I am brave. I am strong enough to defy him. Before he could respond, she ended the call. Leaning back into the seat, the neat 50-minute drive to the hospital felt neither long nor short. It was simply there, another stretch of time to endure. Compared to the way she carried, the journey was nothing. At the hospital, Isha approached the reception desk. I have an appointment with Mrs. Archana Mathur, she said quietly. The receptionist checked her schedule and gave a confirming nod. You can go in, third door to the right. Isha's fingers curled slightly as if she knocked gently on the polished wooden door. Come in, came a voice from inside, sharp yet pleasant, the kind that carried both authority and warmth. Isha stepped in. Dr. Archana Mathur was seated behind a mahogany desk, glasses perched on her nose, her eyes lifting to meet Isha's. Ah, Isha, please, have a seat, the psychiatrist said. Isha sat down, folding her hands in her lap. How are you feeling today? Dr. Mathur asked, her tone professional but tinged with concern. Isha's gaze dropped to the floor. Not well, doctor, she admitted after a pause. The voices keep whispering from time to time. I think I have grown used to them now. I don't even get startled anymore. But how do I make them stop? How do I get rid of them? The doctor studied her for a while, for a long time, her brows drawing together. I have been treating you for 2 years now, Isha. Most of my other patients show some improvement by now. But you are still the same. Sometimes worse. What is it really that's bothering you? The question hung in the air like a challenge. Isha remained silent. She could feel her pulse in her ears. Finally, she asked quietly, Is there anything else we can do apart from medicines, doctor? Dr. Mathur leaned slightly, tapping a pen against her desk. Your fair skin looks pale, drier than before, she'd observed gently, as if something is draining her you constantly. Trauma can do that. She exhaled thoughtfully. Perhaps you need a change of environment. Go on a trip somewhere in the hills, maybe, or by the sea, if you prefer, somewhere peaceful. She paused, her gaze sharpening. But Isha, if there is something else, something you haven't told me, you must confess it before it's too late. If we don't know the truth, we can't help you when it matters most. Isha's lips trembled faintly, but she said nothing. She simply nodded, standing to leave. As she reached the door, Dr. Mathur added, Tomorrow's therapy class is at 5 p.m. A new teacher will be taking over. If you choose not to attend, let me know. Yes, doctor, she replied. Her voice clipped and left the chamber. The hospital's corridors were bright, almost too bright, the scent of antiseptic clinging to the air. Outside, the world seemed louder, busier, more chaotic, but inside her head, it was still the same muted hum of dread. Where would she go now? The cab ride back home would feel heavier than the one to the hospital. Every day was a struggle, a fight against the same invisible enemy. At night, the night was worse. She wrapped her arms around herself as a cold gust of wind swept past. The sun was dipping lower, shadows lengthening on the streets. Her mind whispered the truth she hated admitting. When darkness falls, he comes, whether in dreams or in reality. She couldn't tell anymore, but she knew he would come, and she was not ready. Not tonight, not ever.